Louis XIV, born in 1638, was a king from birth. His arrival was considered a miracle. His parents, Louis XIII and Anne of Austria, had endured years of infertility. Young Louis's relationship with his mother was unusually close. Anne instilled in him a belief in the divine right of kings. Louis's childhood was comfortable but structured. He received a rigorous education, but his true interests lay in courtly pursuits. He enjoyed hunting, dancing, and the theatre. These early experiences shaped his later extravagant tastes. At the age of 4, Louis became king upon his father's death. His mother, Anne of Austria, ruled as regent. Cardinal Mazarin, her chief minister, assisted her. Anne, a staunch believer in absolute monarchy, implemented policies to strengthen the crown. However, these policies ignited the Fronde, a series of uprisings against the monarchy. The Fronde cast a long shadow over Louis's childhood. The uprisings, though eventually quelled, demonstrated the fragility of royal power. The experience left a deep impression on Louis, instilling in him a lifelong fear of rebellion and a determination to establish absolute control. The Fronde uprisings were a defining period in Louis XIV's early life. They erupted during his regency, fueled by resentment among the nobility towards the centralization of power. The nobles, angered by high taxes and perceived erosion of their privileges, challenged the authority of the young king. The First Fronde forced the royal family to flee Paris, a humiliating experience for Louis. It exposed the vulnerability of the monarchy and the ambitions of those who sought to exploit it. Anne of Austria, however, proved a shrewd and resilient leader. Anne rallied loyal forces, negotiated with rebel factions, and eventually crushed the uprisings. She instilled in her son the importance of a strong military and the dangers of a divided kingdom. The Fronde, though a tumultuous period, ultimately strengthened the monarchy by forcing it to confront its weaknesses. Louis emerged from the Fronde with a deep suspicion of the nobility and a determination to never again be held hostage by their whims. He had witnessed firsthand the chaos and instability that could erupt when royal authority was challenged. This experience shaped his approach to governance and his relationship with the French aristocracy. In 1661, Cardinal Mazarin died. Louis XIV, now 22, was finally free to rule in his own right. He famously declared, "L'État c'est moi," I am the state. With this bold statement, Louis signaled his intention to rule as an absolute monarch. Louis moved his court to Versailles, diminishing the nobility's influence. Versailles became a symbol of Louis's absolute power and the center of French political life. By requiring nobles to reside at court, Louis kept them under his watchful eye. Louis XIV's reign was marked by almost constant warfare. He believed in the glory of military conquest and saw war as a tool to enhance French power and prestige. His ambitions led to a series of conflicts that spanned decades and engulfed much of Europe. One of Louis's primary foreign policy goals was to secure France's eastern border by expanding into the Spanish Netherlands, which is modern-day Belgium. He also sought to weaken the Habsburg dynasty, which ruled Austria and Spain, and to establish French dominance in Europe. In 1667, Louis launched the War of Devolution, claiming parts of the Spanish Netherlands based on a legal technicality. The war, though initially successful, led to the formation of the Triple Alliance against France, forcing Louis to relinquish some of his gains. Undeterred, Louis sought to break the Triple Alliance. He bribed Sweden to remain neutral and forged a secret treaty with England. In 1672, he launched the Franco-Dutch War, aiming to conquer the Dutch Republic. The war, however, proved longer and more costly than Louis anticipated. Section 5. Versailles, the Gilded Cage. Versailles, a former hunting lodge transformed into a magnificent palace, became the embodiment of Louis XIV's reign. Its grandeur and opulence served as a powerful symbol of the king's absolute power and the cultural dominance of France. Life at Versailles revolved around elaborate rituals and a strict code of etiquette designed to reinforce the king's authority. Nobles, vying for royal favor, were expected to attend court regularly, participate in lavish entertainments, and adhere to the intricate rules of courtly life. Versailles became a gilded cage for the nobility. By requiring them to reside at court, Louis effectively neutralized their political power and transformed them into courtiers dependent on his favor. The palace, with its endless intrigues, rivalries, and social climbing, became a stage for Louis's absolute rule. Beyond its political function, Versailles was also a center of arts and culture. Louis, a patron of the arts, commissioned countless works of art, music, and literature. He established royal academies to promote French excellence in these fields, further solidifying France's position as a cultural leader. Section 6. The Sun King and Religion. Louis XIV's reign saw a complex interplay between the monarchy and religion. He viewed himself as God's chosen representative on earth and believed in the importance of religious unity for the stability of his kingdom. This belief led him to pursue policies that, while aimed at strengthening the monarchy, ultimately had negative consequences for France. Louis, a devout Catholic, was intolerant of religious dissent. He revoked the Edict of Nantes in 1685, which had granted religious freedom to French Protestants known as Huguenots. The revocation, motivated by Louis's desire for religious uniformity, forced thousands of Huguenots to flee France, depriving the country of their valuable skills and talents. The revocation of the Edict of Nantes had far-reaching consequences. It damaged France's international reputation, particularly among Protestant nations, and fueled anti-French sentiment. It also had a significant economic impact, as many Huguenots were skilled artisans, merchants, and entrepreneurs. Within France, the revocation led to increased religious persecution and social unrest. It highlighted the darker side of Louis's absolutism, revealing his willingness to prioritize his own vision of a unified Catholic France over the rights and freedoms of his subjects. Section 7. The Setting Sun. The latter part of Louis XIV's reign faced challenges that eroded his power. Wars drained the treasury and led to growing opposition. The War of the League of Augsburg pitted France against a powerful coalition. The War of the Spanish Succession erupted after Charles II of Spain's death. Louis's grandson Philip claimed the Spanish throne, contested by other powers. The Treaty of Utrecht ended the war, recognizing Philip as King of Spain. Section 8. Love and Louis XIV. Louis XIV's personal life was as captivating and controversial as his political reign. He engaged in numerous love affairs, fathering several illegitimate children and captivating the imaginations of courtiers and chroniclers alike. His first marriage to Maria Theresa of Spain was a political union designed to cement peace between France and Spain. While Louis respected his queen, he did not love her. He sought companionship and pleasure elsewhere, engaging in a series of affairs that both entertained and scandalized the court. Among Louis's most famous mistresses were Louise de la Vallière and Françoise Athénée de Rochechouart, Marquise de Montespan. These women, intelligent and ambitious, wielded considerable influence over the king, their salons becoming centers of courtly intrigue and intellectual discourse. In his later years, Louis found solace in the company of Françoise d'Aubigne, Marquise de